Okay, I get it, guys. It is way early. Just the beginning of the season. We are 10 games in. But this is the exciting time to look and see what prospects are doing the best job, are putting up those big numbers, are already making their cards surge in prices, and already have people's eyeballs on them. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. We're going to look at the top 5 prospects with the hottest starts to start off the 2022 minor league season. So number 5 on this list is going to be a 5A and a 5B because you couldn't really talk about one without talking about the other. So it's going to be Nolan Gorman for the Cardinals. He plays third base. He's 6'1", 210, 21 years old. He's in AAA. There's also Juan Yepez. I think that's how you say it. He's the same thing, AAA, plays first base, probably more of a DH now that the NL has a DH with it. And he's 6'1", 200 pounds. He's 24 years old, and he is, like I said, also in AAA. We'll break it down, and I'll do Gorman first, and then I'll go back to Yepez after that. So Gorman started off the 2022 season is hitting .351 with 6 home runs and 6 RBIs and 37 at-bats. In his career, he's hit .272, 63 home runs, 187 RBIs, 10 stolen bases, 1,210 at-bats. And last year, he hit .279, 25 home runs, 75 RBIs, and he stole 7 bases and 480 at-bats. His top rookie that you're going to be looking for is going to be a 2018 Bowman Chrome Auto. It ranges about $140 to $150 right now. A lot of you may be familiar with Gorman because he does have a kind of storied history with having a lot of power and hitting moonshots. So he has those big power numbers, which as an investor and a collector, that's what you're looking for because that's what a lot of people see on SportsCenter, what a lot of people are gravitating towards are the home run hitters. And he hits those big home runs that are going to be on SportsCenter every night when he does hit one. So that's something as a collector and an investor you want to gravitate towards. His RBIs are kind of down this year because it's going to lead into that next one where Yepez is driving in a lot of those runs. And, Gorman is still hitting, he's hit 6 home runs and 37 at-bats. So Gorman's still hitting a lot of home runs, but he's not driving in those RBIs because Yepez is driving in a lot of those runs. Now, the story on Yepez is he's probably going to translate more to a DH because the Cardinals have Goldschmidt at first base. So obviously that's a tough area to get to. And I can speak to that a little as I invested heavily for a while into Christian Walker, who was stuck behind Goldschmidt in Arizona. And the only way he got up into that first base spot was by Goldschmidt going to St. Louis. So far in 2022, Yepez has hit .238 with 5 home runs and 15 RBIs and 42 at-bats. Over his career, he's a .273 hitter. He's got 58 home runs, stolen 23 bases, and driven in 279 runs and 1,720 at-bats. Last year, Yepez, to kind of show off some of his power potential, he hit .286 last year with 27 home runs and only 367 at-bats. So you translate that out to a full season, that's a potential 40 home run guy right there. He drove in 77 RBIs, and he only stole 1 base. Now, he is a little older than Gorman, so it's going to be a broader stretch to get back to his rookie. His rookie that you're looking for is a 2016 Bowman Chrome Prospects Auto, and it ranges about $30 to $35 right now. Number 4 on this list is going to be Trey Cabbage for the Angels. He plays in the outfield. The correlation that we're going to run into here is some of these players are on the same teams, and they provide themselves a little bit of a logjam at positions, and Trey Cabbage is going to fall into that category. But he plays outfield for the Angels. He's 6'3", he's 204 pounds, 24 years old, and he's in AA. In 2022 so far, he's hit .387 with 3 home runs, 12 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases, and 31 at-bats. In his career, he's a .247 hitter. He's at 59 homers, stolen 24 bags, and 1,537 at-bats. Now, in 2021, he was a higher up off of those career numbers. He hit .264, 27 home runs, 82 RBIs, and 6 stolen bases, and 387 at-bats. Now, with Cabbage, that is his first kind of, I wouldn't call it a monster year, but his biggest year that he's had so far last year. He hit the 27 home runs, like I said. Before that, the highest he had was 15 home runs. The downside with Cabbage is that he strikes out a lot, more than once a game. I think he had 160 strikeouts last year. So that's something you want to take a look at. Those power numbers have been climbing, but with it, so has been the strikeout numbers. So that's something you want to keep an eye on with him. But so far, he's been, has kept that batting average up over 380. He's been driving the ball. He's stolen some bases, driving in runs. He's doing what you want him to do. And he's a big kid. I mean, he's 6'3", 204. So that rookie card that you're looking for him is going to be one that I don't normally recommend people get, but it's about the only one that they've got out so far that's worth anything. Is a 2015 Elite Extra Edition auto. It's worth about $4 to $6 right now. You can pick one up, so it's not a huge thing. But if you get a couple of them and he ends up being something big, it turns into a decent investment. And I'll show you a little bit more on that later on when we get further down the video. So this is that player that's kind of at a logjam situation with him. It's Aaron Whitefield, also for the Angels. It plays outfield. He's 6'4", he's 210, so he's a little bigger than Cabbage is. He's 25 years old, in AA also. Like, they're both on the same team. I think it's the Rocket City Trash Pandas maybe, but I'll have to double check that. But I think that's what their AA team is. So he's, so far this year, hit 370, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, 8 stolen bases. So he's kind of got that it factor as far as this season so far. Don't get me wrong, I'm not projecting a total career for this guy, but so far he's got that it factor of a little bit of power and a lot of speed, and that's what people like to see, like those Mike Trout types that can kind of put it all together. Hit over his career, he's only a 244 hitter. He's only hit 28 home runs and 1,645 at bats, but he's stolen 159 bases. So he does have that speed. Last year he hit 257. 6 home runs, and he stole 36 bases and 397 at bats. So he is consistently stolen over 30 bases. I think the last 4 or 5 years, I want to say 5 years, that he's consistently stolen 30 or more bases. So that's something you kind of want to see on the speed front for those players. But that's where Whitefield is at. I think it's Whitefield. That's where he is at right now, is more of a speed guy. I'm sure he probably plays center field. The card you're looking for Aaron Whitefield is no card. He does not have any cards out yet, so that may be one of those players, like I talked about in videos past, that may be one of those players that when it comes up time for his first cards to come out, you may be able to sneak those players into a break that not everybody knows about, not everybody's searching for. You may be able to get the Angels a little cheaper, although if it's got a Mike Trout something in there, it's already going to be high, which Mike Trout got hurt today, so that did not help my fantasy squad any, but it is what it is with Mike Trout. And with Trout being out, it may help some of these other players move up a little bit, whether it be just from AA to AAA because somebody's going to fill in, stuff like that. When players get hurt, it moves players up to be able to showcase their talents at a higher level. Okay, so number 2 on the list, you're going to need to refer back to my top 10 prospects of 2022 video, like probably the first one that I did, is to refer back to this player. He was number 10 on my list. He's David Hamilton. At the time that I started doing the video, he was on the Brewers. Now he's on the Red Sox. He went over in the Hunter Renfroe deal. Now he's on the Red Sox. Shortstop, 5'10", 175, 24 years old. He's playing in AA for the Red Sox. I've already covered him in the video, but I'll do it real quick here, and I'm going to give you a little story on that Panini, the Panini Elite Extras that I was talking about previously. So Hamilton so far this year is hitting 387 with 2 home runs, 12 RBIs, and 8 stolen bases, and 31 at bats. In his career, he's a 267 hitter, 10 home runs, 55 RBIs, 60 stolen bases, had 434 at bats. He really, just like I talked about in the other video, he's only had, this is the second kind of full season that he's been playing. His top rookie card is still the 2021 Panini Elite Extra Edition Hidden Gems Auto. Now, when I talked about it in the last video that I did, not the last, but the first video that I did, the top 10 prospects, that card was a $4 to $6 card. Recently, after I was doing my research for this to see where I was at, I went to go look at it because I was going to buy a couple more. That's now about a $14 to $15 card. Like that one card, even though it's one of the lower end Panini Extras, Elite Extras, it still has tripled in value just in a short period of time over him just getting hot to start the minor league season. And going to a new team, going to the Red Sox obviously helps your persona. So him moving up to a better organization and him starting off hot has already caused that card to rise in value, which I'm not giving you any investment advice. That's not what this is. This is just me telling you who I'm looking at and who's starting off the season hot and what cards, if you're going to collect them, is the best one to start with for your collection. So David Hamilton, I've already given you a breakdown on him. If you want to, you can refer back to my first video, the top 10 prospects video for 2022, and that will give you a better breakdown of Hamilton. And that is going to bring us to our number 1 prospect, and that is going to be Christian Encarnacion Stroud for the Twins. Plays third base. He's 6 foot. He's 224. He's 22 years old. And he's only in high A. His 2022 stats so far, in 36 at-bats, he's hitting .444 with 5 home runs. He's driven in 20 runs, and he's stolen 2 bases. His career stats, and he only played a little bit last season and a little bit this season, so it's a very small sample size, but his career stats are .407 batting average, 9 home runs, 38 RBIs, 4 steals. I'll go ahead and do the simple math for you. Last year he hit .391, 4 home runs, 18 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and 87 at bats. That top rookie, which I just bought one right before I started making this video, is a 2021 Bowman Draft Chrome Auto, and it's about $55 to $60. I paid about $55 with shipping and tax. It ended up being $59.67 or something like that. So that's about where his auto was. I may have overpaid slightly for it, but I wanted to jump on there and get one because I had seen how great his numbers were. So that's Christian Encarnacion Stroud. Hope I'm saying it as best I can. Or Encarnacion. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. So that's going to wrap up this top list. If you want to go back and watch some of those other videos and get the breakdown on Hamilton, none of these other guys are on that breakdown. I will go down at some point and do a response video to that first one and see where those guys at. Maybe when we get a couple seasons in to check up on those players and see how they're doing. So let me know what you guys want to see moving forward on this. If you want to keep doing player ranking videos, if you enjoy the fantasy baseball stuff, if you enjoy the box breaking stuff. I'm trying to get to a point in these videos where they're all kind of correlating into each other, and eventually I will get to that point because there's a lot that you can learn as far as players and player prospecting, even be major league level, minor league level, that you can learn through fantasy baseball. And there's a lot of products that you can learn to be a collector with when you start breaking older stuff or different stuff or stuff that you don't see every day. There's a lot to be learned in the hobby itself with that older product, and I'm going to try to get to a point where I'm tying it all together, where the fantasy baseball stuff and the breaking stuff and these player ranking videos are all going to come together to make you a solid, well-rounded, and make your abilities to research players would put you in a better spot than most people are going to be in the investment purposes of this hobby. So like I said, tell me what you guys want to see moving forward. We'll keep working on that and building this community around here that informs and delivers a little bit of entertainment. So go ahead and like and subscribe, leave your comments at the bottom, and I'll see you guys at the next video.